very sad to hear of his death. We knew, though, for some weeks that he was ailing. And I talked to one of his daughters this morning. And, he at least died where he would have wanted to die, and that's in his home in Lower Hutt, surrounded by his family. So for that, I'm sure Bob would appreciate. And the thing that I liked about him, he was a person that always spoke his mind. And, I've been at many do's, been around many dinner tables and had many conversations with Bob Jones, and they're conversations that you treasure because you'll never forget them. Bob was irreverent. He was deliberately obnoxious at times. But for those of us who knew him well, we knew the cut of the man's cloth. He basically let you know how he thought. And to that end, of course, he let Rob Muldoon, know in the early 80s how he thought. He went out and formed the New Zealand Party and collared 12% of the vote. Saw the end of Rob Muldoon and his government and the beginning of the Longy Labour government, whose policies under Rogernomics Bob Jones liked.
One of the most famous incidents in his legacy, I guess, is the Rod Vaughan situation. How do you remember that going down back in the day?
Well, I remember when Bob was convicted of assault for it and fined $2,000, and he said to the judge, "Can I pay another $2,000 and do it over again?"
Of course, great
sense of humour. I don't know what the judge thought, but he didn't allow him to pay it. But again, it'd be interesting if Rod Vaughan was around, which I don't think he is, unfortunately. But he and Bob probably, I would have imagined, had patched things up. Bob was really hosed off about his fishing spot being upset by the blades of a helicopter. And that's what really pissed him off, and that's why he set upon the journalist.
Well, he was a huge boxing enthusiast, Sir Bob Jones, wasn't he? And that punch did actually break Rod Vaughan's nose, so he also obviously had some skill. So that was a lifelong love, and he was involved in Joseph Parker early on as well, wasn't he, Bob Jones?
Yes. Well, he started boxing when he was at university, and indeed he was the university lightweight boxing champion, I think, for a number of years. So he was very deft with his fists, there's no doubt about that, but the only time he used them, to my knowledge, in anger was against Rod Vaughan on that fateful day in Turangi. I'm very saddened that Bob is no longer around because he was a character plus. And very enjoyable company, a laugh a minute. And I think the world won't be quite the same, certainly for me, without Bob Jones being in it.